April 2002, one of my first encounters with Mark Collett, leader of the Young British National Party. Over the next 6 months, I would get to know him intimately.
We're like grains of sand on a beach, yeah. Your soul is like a grain of sand, yeah. And there's certain grains of sand that aren't grains, they're rocks. I mean, look at that, Stalin, Hitler, whatever, you'll never get swept away. And their souls are only kept alive by one thing, and that's other souls remembering them, other souls worshipping them. Hitler's still alive, right? So's Stalin, so's Churchill. Hitler will live on forever. I mean, maybe I will.
On one trip, he started talking about Hitler's Germany.
National Socialism was the best solution for German people back in the 1930s. It's not the solution for British people in 2002. When people say, do you take any inspiration from that? I mean, I honestly can't understand how a man, who's seen the inner city hell of Britain today, can't look back on that era with a certain nostalgia and think, yeah, those people marching through the streets and all those happy people out in the streets, you know, saluting and everything was a bad thing. Now, I actually can't see how anyone can look round on this on this nightmarish society in places like Bradford, Birmingham, and think, you know, Germany in the 1930s was worse than that, because it wasn't, was it? You know, honestly though, would you prefer your kid growing up in Oldham and Burnley or 1930s Germany?
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people say that it was fine as long as you weren't Jewish in Germany in the 1930s.
Yeah, well, you know, fair enough, but from my point of view, it must be from your point of view, you know, it would be better for your child to grow up there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And we all know that the Jews had given the German people a bit of a whipping, and one of the thorns that people felt were in their sides. And look, I'm going to level with you. I'll never say this on camera, yeah? And you can say this to whoever you want, because it's true. The Jews have been thrown out of every country, including England. There's not a single European country the Jews have not been thrown out of. And let's face it, David, when it happens that many times, it's not just persecution. There's no smoke without fire. I don't really have any affection for Hitler at all. I mean, you can say I do. There's no Nazi paraphernalia around my house.
It's not to do with Nazi paraphernalia around your house. It's to do with the things you've said to me.
Well, you know, you can say that I've said things and I can deny them, but which I'm sure we can go into. But I have no great affection for Hitler or the Third Reich.
You have told me that Hitler's Germany, 1930s Germany, was a better place to bring up children than Oldham is in 2002. You've told me that you can't understand how, when people look at the Nazis marching and saluting in the street, they can fail to be inspired and feel a sense of nostalgia for that. And that National Socialism was the best solution for Germany in the 30s.
When did I say these things? Have you got any evidence of me saying these things?
You said these things to me in your car on a trip to Bradford.
Did I say these things? Where's your evidence of saying these things?
Mark, don't...
Where is your evidence of...
Mark, why do you think I remember these things so well?
Well, you can say anyone said things like this, but without evidence, how can we?
Okay, if I had evidence of you having said that, would this change the conversation?
If you had evidence of me saying that, then obviously I would have said it.
Okay, Mark, you said it, and it was all recorded.
Really?
Yes.
Well, can you leave my house, please? I don't know what to say. You've betrayed me. You know what I mean? We were talking personally about things, and I was talking about, you know what I mean?
Mark, as a journalist, I have a responsibility to report what I find, and what I found in you was somebody who was a very deep and complex character. But had a real affection for Nazis.
Can I answer this in a minute? Can we take this off and answer it in a minute? I've got to David, after all we've done together, can we? After all we've done together, can we stop that playing?
No, I can't stop. I'm sorry, I can't stop it filming.
I've got a.
There's a few other things which I want to talk to you about as well.
What, that's been said or done?
That's been said and done, yeah.
And you recorded everything?
I haven't recorded everything, no, but I've recorded quite a lot of things.
Can we turn it off?
I can't turn it off, no.
Could just for 5 minutes?
No.
I just want to say a couple of things to you.
Okay, well, let's finish the
I'm just going to
interview
ring Nick and quit from the party.
then.
I'm just going to quit my role in the party. Nick, can you turn that off while I do that?
Well, maybe we'll finish the interview and then you should do that, Mark.
When Mark came back, he insisted I turn the camera off.
Can you just turn it off for 5 minutes while I just say some things I've got to say to you?
We talked for more than an hour. Eventually, he agreed to continue the interview.
Start with the questions about... I'm going to answer all your questions honestly now.
Are you?
You want to... You scrap... what was on that tape, yeah? The shock and everything. Let's scrap that and let's get on with it, answering this properly.
Okay, well... Start with telling me about your affection for Nazi Germany then.
You're referring to what I said in the car. I'm not a Nazi, but if you want to call me a Nazi sympathiser, you can. You said the things I said to you then disgusted you. And you quoted me as saying, I'd rather have lived in the 1930s than I would in Oldham. Yeah, that might disgust some people. You go to Oldham.
Mark.
You go to a place...
There are millions of people being exterminated in Oldham.
White people in Oldham are being...
There are not millions of people being exterminated in Oldham.
Look, we, or people like me, or young people, or the people you saw with tattoos on, or the people you saw with wacky shirts on, they feel an affinity for something because they feel totally betrayed and they feel that white people are being sold out today. And the only person they're told in the history books that ever stuck up for white people was Hitler.